Equipment. You're tuned into the talking shed. Hey, today I'm in the office and got something in the mail today, something I've been waiting on for a while. So, as always, Becks is studying all types of cool things, but I've got some things bookmarked here that I would like to highlight. So here in the early section, we've got planter attachments, closing wheels, and they tested several different ones here. Schaefer's, Copperheads, SI, and twisters. And I want you to see the proven bushel per acre advantage of the YETTER poly twister. 5.1 on corn, 5.2 on soybeans. No other wheel comes close. So when we're talking closing wheels, we of course here at Furrow Equipment talk a lot about the YETTERs, and there's a reason why. Customers who own the YETTERs will tell you that this also holds true. I marked another page right here where they talk about closing wheel attachments, and what this chart is showing is acres to payoff on this closing wheel. So if you buy a YETTER poly spike twister, how many acres does it take you to pay it off? Well, if you have got a 12-row planter, on the best scenario, it's going to take you 98 acres to pay it off on that unit. So acres to pay off this season based on the price, bushels per acre, and how fast it pays for itself. So on a 16 row, it's going to take you anywhere from 131 to 111 acres. And on a 24 row, anywhere from 166 to 196. So very fast payoff. And these different colored graphs are the soybean prices. Today, prices are up here. So we're going to be down in the 83, 111, and 166. So of course, price is a factor when we're talking acres to payoff. But when you look at all the other closing wheels, you're a lot higher. So the YETTER poly twister, not only does it show an advanced yield, but when we take that to ROI, which is what you guys are very focused on, return on investment, it proves there as well, acres to payoff. Let's keep flipping. I want to flip over to some more interesting closing wheel studies. As everyone's well aware, there's several out there, but there's one that has really came to the forefront, or a lot of guys have talked about anyways, and that's that Furrow Force. The Furrow Force, it's an automated closing wheel system that you put on the back of your planter, and it reads your ride. It's got a lot of data built into it. It automatically adjusts to close in the best scenario possible. I mean, it's got a brain of its own, and boy, there's a lot going on with that Furrow Force. It's quite expensive too. I'm not for certain, but probably $1,500 to $2,000 a row, I would imagine. So surely that thing's going to outperform most closing wheels. But when we get in here and look at the data and we look at those, we've got fully automated Furrow Force, +6. YETTER poly twisters, 4.9. So Furrow Force does beat it by 1.1 bushel, but I can sell you YETTER poly twisters for $220 a row. You're talking tenfold the cost to go with the automated Furrow Force. So when you run ROI on that, the YETTER poly twister smokes any closing wheel out there. So if we look down here, that was at 7.5 miles per hour. When you look at 10, the YETTER cast twister actually beats all of them. +5.1, the fully automated Furrow Force is 4.9. Now, how can a fully automated closing wheel system that reads the terrain, has got a 2020 brain box behind it, and it's a 2-stage closing system. Remember, it's got closing wheels in the front that really break that compaction, and then it's got a packer wheel that comes with it, and it all controls itself. How is it possible that a closing wheel system like that gets beat by a YETTER cast twister? Well, it happened, and whenever you look at the ROI, not only does it beat the Furrow Force in yield, but you got to look at cost. You're looking at $200 a row to $250 on the cast to $2,000 a row on the Furrow Force. Which one are you buying? That's my question. We come down here and we look at 2-year multi-location closing wheel, high speed yield average. 2 YETTER poly twisters, 210.9. Fully automated Furrow Force, 210. Again, which one are you buying? $2,000 a row or 210 a row to get the same or better yields? When it's about ROI, guys, you really need to put the pencil to the paper and look past the flash and figure out what closing wheel is going to put more money in your pocket. And this page shows it pretty clear. It's the YETTER poly twister here. So as we look at this one as well, closing wheel study, high speed. This was basically the overall conclusion whenever we compare fully automated Furrow Force. Again, 2-year closing wheel high speed yield average, 210.5 on the poly twisters at 7.5 mile an hour. It wins the race. 210.2 on Furrow Force at 10 miles an hour. It wins the race, but by 2.4, I should say. So again, those numbers aren't big enough to justify the cost. And whenever we look at ROI, the YETTER poly spike is always there. So again, 7.5 mile an hour Furrow Force shows a bushel advantage of 3.7 versus 2.9, so 0.8 bushels. 10 miles an hour, cast twisters win. 8.8 beats automated Furrow Force by 2.7. So this PFR book offers a lot of data, whether it's nitrogen timing studies, foliar feeds, these closing wheel studies. And everyone knows that this is open book data. You go down and talk to Jared Chester at London, you go over to Indiana and talk to those guys, they'll let you go walk in the plot. They'll let you ride along the day they're planting. This is all a great resource for farmers, and there's a lot of great information in here. I got it in the mail, started flipping through it, and man, there's a lot of interesting things when it comes to inputs as well. How far back can I cut my nitrogen this year? Or when's the best time to side dress? So I urge you guys to pick up this book, whether you plant Becks or not. There's some information in there that I think would help you. So dig through it and find what products and different things are going to help your operation. That's what we're doing today. Thank you for tuning in.